The indigenous people of Biafra Ipob has reacted to Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State's demand that the federal government should release the Ipob leader Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally or accept him, Soludo, as Kanu's shorty. Sahara reporters had reported that Soludo demanded for Kanu's unconditional release from the custody of the Department of the State Service (DSS), where he had been confined since June 2021 when he was arrested in Kenya. Reacting to Soludo's demand, IPOB in a statement by its media and publicity secretary Ima Powerful appreciated the governor's demand for Kanu's unconditional release, but pointed out that the IPOB leader had no need of shorty, having been discharged and acquitted by court of competent jurisdiction. IPOB said it welcomes the recent call by the governor of Anambra State, Governor Charles Soludo, for the unconditional release of her leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which is belatedly coming 3 months and 1 day after the Court of Appeal, Abuja Judicial Division, in its erudite judgment delivered on the 13th day of October 2022, discharged and acquitted the leader of IPOB and all the remaining 8 counts amended charge preferred against him. The landmark judgment of the court consequently directed for his unconditional release and further prohibited the federal government of Nigeria from further detaining our leader or even presenting him for trial or any indictment or defense or offense whatsoever before any court in Nigeria. The group stated that Kanu has no any form of indictment or even charge pending against him today before any court by the authority of these judgments. The issue of granting bail or otherwise does not arise by any stretch of consideration or imagination, because it is the federal government that is today in breach of this order of superior courts of competent jurisdiction. Therefore, it is to be emphasized further that Oyendu, who was discharged on the 13th day of October 2022 by the Court of Appeal, does not have any need for shorty, because there is no charge hanging on his neck today. We have gone beyond the issue of shorty or no shorty. Every genuine and core demand in the prevailing circumstance should be firmly directed at calling out of the federal government of Nigeria to immediately obey the order for the unconditional release of Oyendu made by its own court. May we remind Governor Soludo and others that Oyendu's current incarceration is not sanctioned by any law known to man. It is unconstitutional and affronts to constitutional democracy and rule of law. Further to the above is the fact that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer again. Therefore, the need for shorty does not even arise. Instead, Governor Soludo should gear all his efforts towards persuading and compelling on the lawless Fulani rulers of Nigeria to obey their own law. It is to be pointed out further that this kind of plea is the reason why Janjaweed rulers of Nigeria have no regard for the rule of law. Why should we be pleading with them to obey their own law? Orders directing for the unconditional release of Oyendu. It is compelling and mandatory on their part to obey their own court orders. The federal government today is in grave contempt of the order of its own court, and their appeal before the Supreme Court cannot justify the present illegal incarceration of our leader in solitary confinement in DSS. That is a very, very valid point. Very, very valid point. Very important note. Talking about shorty is dragging us back to square one. Nnamdi Kanu has been discharged and acquitted by the upper court, so therefore the Nigerian government should obey court's judgment. Soludo is a sycophant who is afraid to pronounce a word the way it should be. Why using the word shorty when Nigerian court has already discharged and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu of their said formulated charges? This is the reason why they don't like the Igbos, because they are telling you the truth. And thank God for the lawyers. In fact, those guys, they know exactly what they are doing. They know exactly what they are doing. Before now, we used to hear from Nnamdi Kanu, that this Nigerian government, that if we win them in their own court, we thought, say, abeg, Nnamdi Kanu, na mouth e dey o. Na mouth Nnamdi Kanu dey. But lo and behold, before our very eyes, it happened o. In their own court o. The freedom of Nnamdi Kanu will restore peace totally. I believe election may not ever hold if he couldn't gain his freedom. Federal government and Ipob matter na like church projects. E no dey ever finish. See the governor una voted o. DOS should bury their heads in shame after they will attack Simon Ekpa. When wise people said their Anambra election should not hold, they said it should. Now see the insults and results. Now you can see that Soludo and Shorty Nigeria government, not Nnamdi Kanu. Ekpa should go and sit down. He is doing more damage than good to this Nnamdi Kanu original ideology. Abeg, this dwarf here is not even an able and indomitable leader. His Excellency Oyendo Nnamdi Kanu. Change this to real picture. Oh Lord, this person's doing all this to spoil Peter Gregory Obi's support from the Igbo community. Soludo wants to use Ipob as usual to achieve his rubbish interest because Atiku promised him one thing, but Ipob is wiser. Well, I don't understand, but I think I should believe at all easy. With this level at which this man is going, Soludo, nobody ever envisaged that this man could be like this. That's why people are so skeptical. So some people are so unbelievable. Honestly, if it is true that this man Soludo is just doing this because they promised him after Atiku that will be the president, no. He's not going to get this kind of a acceptability the way Peter Obi is getting. I don't understand. No wonder the Bible says that the heart of man is desperately wicked. Desperately wicked. Who can know it? Who can know it? It's so unfortunate. Soludo is a professor by pride. God help us. Let these people free this man. He is done nothing. Some people say, oh, let him go to court. Now they have gone to court. The same court as say discharge him and release him unconditionally, nothing. And Soludo is a professor. He doesn't even know the meaning of discharge and acquitted. Professor in the zoo called Nigeria. Well, let's see how all of these things will pan out at the end of the day.